Welcome to the first pitch pitch ever for Zardom.com.
Yep.
I'm Cassie Duncan, CMO of Zardom, and we have Jen DeMarchi, CEO of Zardom, here as well. We're both longtime publicists and excited to have you here with us.
Thank you.
Yes, we're super excited. Everyone's been talking about the new Harry show on the site, and we're excited to have Dee Dee Thomas, senior producer, here with us to kick off the series.
Thank you very much for having me. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, our goal with Pitch Pitch is to make publicists better, more targeted pitchers and save producers and media from getting a ton of crappy, irrelevant pitches. And the more specific you can be with us, the better. So tell us about the Harry show.
Well, it's one big party. It is Harry, who has been performing since he was 18 years old, performing on stage, and his 10-piece band that he travels with him. He has his own house band. So the whole show is it's surrounded by music, and it is fun, and he's a prankster. He loves real people. I mean, that's what he does every day at one of his concerts. He's talking to real people, and he loves just meeting normal, everyday people and having fun with them. It's a little bit of celebrities, and it's a lot of human interest, and lots of moments where people to just kind of laugh. He pokes fun at himself. He pokes fun at everyone in a really good, lighthearted way. It's a really great place to be.
So you started taping this week. Was this your first week of taping?
We did. We started taping this week, and it's so far so good. It's 6 shows down.
And will all shows be taped, or will there be any live shows?
For now, we are taping ahead of time, but we're taping them live to tape. So we are trying to make a show that is an hour on television, tape in an hour. And we're getting pretty close to that. So, yeah, we've got a tape feel. I mean, we've got a tape show, but it's got a live feel because of the band. We're not doing any, like, news of the day or newsy topics. So we don't need to be live for that.
And you have a studio audience?
I didn't hear that.
Oh, you have a studio audience?
We have a studio audience. We see about 200 people, and you can go to our website. To find tickets. We've got people that are flying in or that already have plans to come to New York that are in the audience. A lot of New Yorkers, a lot of New Jerseyers. But yeah, 200 people every day, twice a day.
And what is your taping time? AKA, when should we avoid trying to get you on the phone or call? Is there a kind of time during the day when you're always in studio?
Right now, so our taping days are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the most part. So those days we tape 2 shows a day. So really, I'm coming back to my desk at about 4:15 after the second show to 100 emails that I haven't answered. So it's either, I would say, Mondays and Fridays are the best in terms of you're pitching new ideas. And if it's something that is like, oh my gosh, you have to see this, I'd say that earlier in the morning you can get it to me, the better. Because unless it's something that's urgent, I'm pretty much focusing on the shows that day and then the next day.
Excellent. And when people reach out to you or other producers, will producers cover specific beats, or do producers kind of work on the show in general?
We have different teams. We have a celebrity team that focuses on, obviously, all the celebrities that are booked. We have a human interest team that's the team that I work with, and we do anything that really has real people in it. It might be that viral video. It might be that kid that's a superstar basketball player, or the 12-year-old chef. But it's people. It's not celebrities, and it's anything that kind of fits into that realm. And then we have a comedy team. So here's the thing: if you email someone, we'll get it to the right person. But I can send you names for each beat if you'd like.
That would be fantastic.
Okay.
That would really be helpful. Yeah.
And go ahead.
I'm sorry, and the human interest pieces, these are some of these are tapes and some are guests on the
We
show?
really, it's primarily live segments. So we're bringing people into the studio. So it's stories that we've seen, maybe in local newspapers. We're trying to not have the show be a New York or tri-state show. We're trying to really find people from around the country that represent the country. Like one of the segments that we do is called Leading Ladies. And look at like people in your neighborhood that you know that are like leading the pack in something. It might be that 12-year-old who started doing something, after school that's benefiting people, or it might be the first something in your neighborhood that's really making a difference. It might be that business owner who is doing great things. So it's just we're looking at celebrating people, everyday people that are doing great stuff. So we call it Leading Ladies. Another segment that we do, it's called I Got This. And literally, Harry, we find moms and dads that are doing their thing but are, need a break because their kids are driving them crazy. They're busy working and they're spending all their time focusing on all that stuff and not taking out time for themselves. So Harry literally comes in. They get the day to do what they want, whether it's going to the spa or having lunch with their friends. And then he does everything else, whether it's taking care of the kids, taking them to soccer practice, cleaning up the house, all that kind of stuff. So it's really like we're finding people, like real people, and celebrating them.
And so you find those people through
everything.
Kind of
You might find them looking at the websites in Houston, reading the local newspapers, or Facebook. We might find different stories. People send us stories, and we've spoken to different people that we work with, and like, oh, you know what? When I did a story so and so, and I remember I met this person. Like we're reaching out. We're asking people on our website to send us ideas for things, and that's really a kind of story like the I Got This. It's really kind of at the ground level. You know what I mean? Like we want that woman that lives in that small town in Illinois, or that that dad that's way out, in Washington State that no one's ever heard of, because the whole point is that these are normal people that deserve a break, that deserve a special day. So those are the kind of things that we what?
Oh, the way that's special, like I'm trying to think of how we can tie in, like if this special guy in Washington State needs a day of massage and pampering and a yummy meal, and we have PR people who rep hotels and spas in Washington State.
Yes, exactly. And I can't, like, for example, there are some that we've already taped, and I can't give you the storylines for them. But, we found people that are doing amazing things, and so we're able to, try and help them continue doing them, and each case is individualized. Like I said, since none of them have aired yet, I can't give you some of the details, but as you see them unfold, you'll see that some of them are business owners, or some of them are like, all they really want to do is go spend the day at the plaza and have that coffee and tea at the plaza. And so those are things that we're trying to help make happen. And some of those it's very organic to incorporate groups, and some of them it doesn't necessarily make sense to. We're doing lots of things where like a lot of our leading ladies are doing great things for the community. So some of those oftentimes we need help with helping realize what that might be. Another thing.
I think
I'm sorry.
We're curious. It's okay. I'm curious to know if on the fulfillment side of those, afternoon delight sort of things, if you could utilize ours for, say, I need a spa in Spokane, or I need a restaurant in.
Yeah. Well, I totally had been
wanting
wanting to do that. I just been hesitant because I was waiting until we started. Like, there's a couple things that I want to ask right now. I just have been wanting to wait until we get on the air. And like, there's one of them, like I already reached out to Cass and asked about. But yes, I mean, and that's the thing. I just, I've been wanting to wait and see, like, until we get on the air before I started kind of putting out real feelers.
Definitely.
Well, we'd love for you to utilize ours in that capacity.
We will. Oh, believe me, we will.
A lot of resources.
Are there topics that Harry will, has already said, I want to stay away from?
Well, so Harry doesn't want to be what he's not. So, he's not a pregnant mom. He doesn't want to, there's things that work for a guy on television. And there's things that doesn't. And he wants to be himself. And so we're learning a lot of what that is as we go along. So I don't want to pigeonhole us into anything, but know that we're not really doing book segments. We're not doing, segments on how to I'm thinking of things avoid things that are maternity and, new things for baby. But here's the thing. All segments that we feature have moms in it with kids in it. So we may need products and things for different segments because we're surprising a mom or giving out some, great opportunity. But we wouldn't be doing really prop-based segments, if that makes any sense.
So when it comes, so beauty specific, is that just, you might incorporate beauty into a segment where you're working with a mother or a woman, but you're not necessarily going to have. Right.
We're not going to do a segment on the top on, keeping your summer hair looks for the fall or extending your wardrobe or the best looks for the holiday. Those are segments that totally make sense on television, dates on television, but not on the kind of show that we're doing. But having said that, we'll be featuring real women who, let's say there's a woman who is working with disadvantaged kids and wants to give them all and she needs makeup products for the 15-year-old girls that can't afford to buy makeup, then that's a great opportunity to make that happen. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, completely.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So staying away from cooking, from book segments and a lot of product-focused segments. Really won't be doing kind of fashion stuff.
No active fashion,
no.
What jeans are right for you?
Exactly.
Mom jeans.
Yeah, it's because here's the thing. Harry isn't gonna,
It makes sense.
Yeah. So
would can I ask you a question? Would Harry do a segment Catherine worked on a story this summer about a salon in New York that taught a class to fathers to learn how to braid their daughter's hair.
Totally. And what we might want to do is, if there was dads that went to the class, we want to bring some of them on the set.
Right.
And bring the daughters on, by all means.
Would you bring on the woman from Cozy that taught the class to show some maybe guys in the audience how to?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
And that's so it's really more the experience and finding the people behind the experience. So that's kind of what we're looking for.
Yep.
Okay, I got it.
So it's a little different.
Not necessarily a table of products that will make styling your daughter's hair easy. It needs to have the active experience.
The active, right, and also the real people element.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Will you have regular contributors or experts that come on the show to join Harry as
Yes and no. I mean, here's the thing. The regular contributors we see regularly everywhere.
Right.
So we're looking to try and sometimes that makes sense, but we're also looking for new people. We're looking for new people with different ideas. Sometimes that's really easy to find. Sometimes not so much. But we're trying to change the conversation a little bit and bring in new voices and new ideas and ways of doing it. I mean, the really cool thing about my show is my bosses, one of them was an EP at Steve Harvey, and two of them came from Letterman, the EPs at Letterman. So this is crazy. You know what I mean? We're looking at taking it in a different direction, and there's fun and there's humor, and of course we're talk show, but we're looking at ourselves as we are doing a variety show in daytime, late night variety in the daytime. So
can you expand on the comedy aspect of it?
well, it would be a lot easier if we were on the air and you'd see some of it. But I'm trying not to give anything away. So,
No.
okay.
Maybe we'll have a check-in in 2 weeks again.
I mean, okay, so just Harry, like if people that have seen him on American Idol know he has a dry sense of humor. He loves to, do pranks and silly things, and you'll see that in the show. And some of it may involve the audience, some of it may involve him, but he loves to poke fun at himself. He's like completely self-deprecating, and so we try and build that into the show every day. There's things, one segment that we're going to be doing, we call it Geek of the Week, and literally it is, we want to know about that crazy new product and the crazy person that invented it. Okay? And
love it.
We don't want the product that's already made $5 million. We want the one that's got the Kickstarter and like they're so close to getting it, mass produced, but it's not quite there yet. Or that thing that's, like, what? Are you kidding me? And some of them are a little bit, more well known, but like we need the product or we need the crazy person that made it. And so if the product is great, but the person that invented it isn't, well then no, they're not a good match for the show. But
right.
So we need both of those. And you wouldn't believe some of the things that have already been pitched are like we just sit there and laugh. But that's the kind of stuff that he wants to do because it's fun and it's like some of them might be like, oh my gosh, I need that product, or like, oh my gosh, I can't believe someone actually invented that product and they're going to make $1 million by doing it. So that's the kind of stuff that we're looking for. Does that make sense?
I love it.
So, and it's like we're not looking for guests to come on and be funny. Like that's going to happen. We're looking for the show will be funny in the way that it's being put together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about pets and what about food?
Love them. But here's the thing. So we need, we're not going to do a segment on the 5 items that your pet should have or the 5 best gifts for your pets, but more like,
crazy pet tricks, things like that.
Crazy pet tricks, a cat psychologist.
Right.
I made that up. I don't think there is a cat psychologist, but it probably is. That kind of thing. Like,
quirky. Everything else like it needs to be quirky.
Yes, we're looking for quirky things. Fun stuff that people like that are sitting at home at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon will just look at and laugh and like not think about the election or their electric bill or, dinner. They'll think about, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just saw that on television and that made me laugh.
So,
and food?
What?
Finishing up pets, one last thing. Would you do like pet hacks? Like,
yeah, totally. I mean, it's just we need pet hacks are great, provided that the guest is someone that can really can really have fun with it.
Yeah.
And again, not being a comedian, but like,
right,
just somebody with
have
personality.
Fun with it. Yes.
Yeah. Got it. And I'm sorry, can we just go back to cooking?
Yeah.
You're going to do like live cooking demos?
Yeah, we will. I mean, but they need to have a reason, because you can watch Today's Show, Good Morning America, the Cooking Channel, and find cooking in so many places. So yes, we are going to do cooking segments, but we're trying to just kind of make them like have a reason. You know what I mean? And some of them won't be like, look, if some specific chef wants to come on and we're going to have them on, but we're not going to be doing cooking every day.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to try and do it so that it's not just the cooking segment that you saw somewhere else last week.
Okay. So again,
I mean, and here's the thing. Harry loves to cook. He loves to cook. He comes from the South. He considers himself like a serious barbecue person. Like if someone says pulled pork, like he's gone for 10 minutes talking about pulled pork. Like he's serious about barbecuing and smoking. And he loves
crawfish.
Yes, and Southern food and Louisiana food. He loves it.
Right.
So that's going to be part of the show. Yeah, you're not going to see that every day. I can guarantee you. But like he loves to cook, so we're not going to have a lot of segments unless they're kind of something that he's going to get into and appreciate and find a way to bring the audience along as well.